Good morning, class. How are you? I hope you are all well and staying safe. All right, so we're going to have a quick tutorial here on what you're actually doing right now, the assignment that I just sent you that is due for Monday morning. Okay, so what we're doing is we're dealing with right triangles, and we're going to find all six trigonomic ratios of one of the angles, one of the acute angles in the triangle. So what we have to do is, the first thing you have to do is, if you take note, we don't have, we don't know what C is. So we have to find out what C is. So of course, we employ the Pythagorean theorem, which is just a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It doesn't matter which leg we plug in. Doesn't matter if you plug in 12 first or 5 first. It doesn't matter which one you plug in for A or B. We square them, we sum them, and then we take the square root of each side. Of course, this is the square root property. We actually get c is equal to plus or minus 13. But of course, in real world applications, you can never have a negative length, right? So c is 13. So now we know that c is 13. And of course, we know, let me just erase this, and we know the two legs are 5 and 12. So now if we come down here, we need to find the three trig functions, which is sine, cosine, and tangent. Once we have sine, cosine, and tangent, then of course we have the reciprocal functions. We have cosecant, secant, and we have cotangent. All right, so let's go back up here to the top. It all comes back to remembering SOHCAHTOA. Here's SOHCAHTOA. We have to remember that, and then from that we can easily do the assignment. Okay, so if you look down here, we're going to go with SO first. So, do you remember what SO is? SO of theta is going to equal opposite over hypotenuse. Now that's what SOH, that's what the O stands for. Sine stands for sine of theta. The O in SO stands for opposite, and the H in SO stands for hypotenuse. And then, of course, once we have this, then a reciprocal function. Also, you might have heard me use the term multiplicative inverse. That's just a fancy word for what? For the reciprocal. And then, of course, we can easily find the reciprocal function. Since sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosecant is going to be opposite, hypotenuse rather, over opposite. Okay, so if we come back up here, notice what we're doing. We're trying to find the six trigonomic ratios of angle A. So we're looking at angle A. So when we want to find SO, right, SO is just going to be sine of angle A. Well, that's going to be opposite, the opposite side is 5, all over the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is going to be 13. Once we have sine of A, well then cosecant of A is going to be real easy. It's just the reciprocal of that. It's just 13 over 5. And that, if you look down here, that's what we have. We have sine of A is 5 over 13, and cosecant of A is 13 over 5. Now we have to do that for each and every one of them. You have to find ka, and of course you have to find toa. And once you have it, well, then it's just chug and plug. We just plug in our answers. So if I want to find ka is just going to be cosine of theta. Now it's going to be, the A stands for adjacent, and adjacent is 12, all over the hypotenuse, which of course is 13. Voila. And we have our answer. So we come down here, and for cosine of A is 12 over 13. So its reciprocal function, secant, is just 13 over 12. So at this point, once you find the third side, and once you find SO, ka, and toa, well then it's fairly easy. You're just chugging and plugging. You're just writing in the reciprocals, right? And the same thing with tangent, right? Tangent, toa is, the O stands for opposite. It's the opposite side over the adjacent. And of course, it's reciprocal. It's just the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So remember, so for your assignment, this is number 1 of your assignment. So if you come down here, remember the first thing you have to employ, the first thing you have to do is you have to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And once again, doesn't matter which leg you plug in. We have to plug in 15 squared plus 8 squared is equal to c squared, or 225 plus 64 is going to equal c squared, or c squared equals 200 and what? 89. Then if we take the square root of each side, remember we only take the positive root, right? This is going to be 17. So now I know that c is 17, and now we can just plug in our trig ratios. So real quick, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Michael Marone. I want to thank him for what he told us about the free app, right? There is a free app on your phone that you can get. All right, it's a calculator app, and it's called Calculate 84, right? So if you plug that into your phone, it's a free app. It is excellent. It is the same one that we use in school. I highly recommend it. So as always, I am here. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And I want you guys to stay safe and make good choices. All right, have a great day.